I want to start this off by saying I really like murder drones, and I have since pretty much the moment I saw the pilot episode. Like, I pretty much instantly fell in love with this show like that. And it's been something that I haven't talked about, but that I've known about for a long time. And that's because, like many other things, I never really knew how to make a video on it. And it only really crossed my mind to make a video on it every once in a while, but I never knew how I was going to make a video on it or what I was going to do if I did. I have no talent for animation or drawing, so I couldn't make a video in that field even if I tried. I don't like reaction channels, and I don't show my face, so I'm not going to make a reacting to video. And when it comes to videos like this, where people just talk about something and comment on it and theorize on it, I didn't know how to make a video like that either. This is my first time trying to make a video like this where I just talk about something. And I'm not that good at putting my thoughts into words and like expressing myself in the first place. I'm not like Cartoon Universe or the people that run the theory channels like Game Theory and Film Theory. I'm just not good at expressing my thoughts and opinions on things, at least not well enough to make a video structured around that. But I did want to make a Murder Drones video, especially after the third episode really started making it gain traction, and now everybody's making Murder Drones videos. And I was actually planning on making my own when the third episode released back in February, but I ended up scrapping the idea because I was too afraid the video would be terrible. And also because unforeseen events caused a lot of problems with my computer in general, let alone making videos back in February. But none of that matters because I'm making one now, and even if it's horrible in all aspects, here we go anyway. So, even though I'm late and the fourth episode is coming out in just 2 days, I'm still super excited and super interested to see what's gonna happen next. And especially with the Friday the 13th vibes the teasers give off, I'm super excited to see just where they're gonna take this. And with the questions that the teasers have brought up and the mystery surrounding them, I wanted to talk a little bit about them and what I think might happen in the episode. So, yeah. So, I think a lot of the mystery centers around this video, uploaded on March 24th, titled Cabin Fever 13133071.mov. I guess there's at least 13 months in a Copper 9 year, if not more. The YouTube video doesn't have anything for a description, but the Twitter post has the caption, "Found some footage," and that's exactly what the video is. It's one of those VHS tape found footage videos, and in it, a worker drone is running through the woods being pursued by something until it eventually intercepts and kills him.
Don't hurt me! Ah!
There's also some pretty cryptic messages that appear at the beginning when the screen glitches out right before the footage plays, and those are "Hungry, we want more, mother makes fuel from the bones," which is an especially weird one, and finally, "Get snuck upon." And if you've seen the second episode, you already know where that's from.
Sneaky, sneaky, sneaking away. Get snuck upon. Ow.
I'll get back to those in a minute, but I first want to talk about the thing pursuing the worker drone in the video. Now, I obviously don't know what it is, and I'm not even going to try and theorize on what it is since it's way too difficult. The thing is completely shrouded in shadow, it's distorted, and it only has a few frames of screen time anyway. It's way too difficult to try and determine who or what this thing might be. Although it seems that a lot of people seem to think it's either Uzi, her mother Nori, N, or some kind of mix between a disassembly drone and a worker drone. And I will say that that idea is further supported by the thumbnail, which shows something standing in the light that looks much more like a worker drone than a disassembly drone. And assuming that this is the same thing as what's in the video, it definitely makes sense why people would think that it's a worker drone, disassembly drone mix. It also kind of looks like it's wearing some kind of leg wear, and I think that might actually be Uzi's socks, since it looks like it goes up to about the thing's knees, which one of Uzi's socks do, but I don't know, it might just be the image. Another thing people have been saying is that this thing is Uzi because at the end of the video, after it kills the worker drone, it laughs, and the laugh kind of sounds similar to Uzi's laugh. But I've also seen a YouTube short by Unhelpful Commentary that says that it's actually N's laugh, and that the thing is N. Here, listen to it for yourself, and you make that call. So, does it sound like Uzi? Is it Uzi? Is it something else? I don't know. That's for you to decide. As for me, I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess the idea that this thing is Uzi does make sense. Not only does it resemble a worker drone far more than a disassembly drone, but Uzi also has the absolute solver and even tasted oil at the end of episode 3. And being that the disassembly drones seem to have a lot in common with vampires, it's certainly plausible that a worker drone that's been infected, so to say, could eventually turn into a disassembly drone or some kind of disassembly drone worker drone mix. Although, if that's the case, I just find it kinda odd how suddenly it happened. In the span of almost 2 months and a single episode, Uzi would be going from tasting a bit of oil on her finger to straight up murdering and consuming her fellow worker drones. How did that happen so quickly? There was no transition, there was no build-up, and why did it happen off-screen? You'd think that such an important piece of plot would be done on-screen, but no, it was done off-screen. Why? Why would they do that? That doesn't make sense. But, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what Liam has in store. Now, going back to the glitched messages that appear at the beginning of the video, they form a few more ideas and raise a few more questions. So first off, there's hungry and we want more. And I think the most obvious questions that need to be asked are, who is this we being referred to, and what do they want more of? But other than that, there isn't really much else to say about these. They don't really give much to work with, and they just kind of speak for themselves. They're hungry and they want more. There's not much to go off of there. So, moving on. The next message is probably the oddest one. Mother makes fuel from the bones. Very cryptic, and it doesn't give much to work with either. First of all, I didn't even know these things had bones. They're robots. And second, who is this mother being referred to? Now, there's a chance they're talking about Tessa, with her being a technician and all, and possibly even the creator of all the drones if you believe some of the theories online. But I've seen a fair number of people say that it could be Nori, since the only person in the series referred to as Mother so far has been Nori. And with her possible affiliation to the Absolute Solver, it's possible that she's the mother the text is referring to, and possibly even the thing seen in the video. But I don't really know how to feel about this one either, because on one hand, Nori is dead, and the only portrayal of her so far has been a hologram by the Absolute Solver. But on the other hand, the Solver is capable of some downright supernatural, absolutely logic-defying wackiness. I'm talking to you, doll.
Doc Mila.
So I don't think it's entirely out of the question that it could possibly resurrect Nori, or use her image as a puppet or a base to create something more. Like a disassembly drone worker drone mix, for example. So again, we'll just have to see what happens when the episode releases. And finally, the final message is get snuck upon. And the only character who has said that so far is Jay, or at least her Absolute Solver. So that could mean that this thing is Jay in the video, and that also makes sense since they did bring her back at the end of episode 3. Plus, 2 days before this was made, a picture was posted with the caption, "Just got this in the mail, time to go camping." And it's a little holiday card advertising Camp 98.7. And on the sign, there's the shadow of a murder drone's claw being cast. Now, this doesn't exactly mean that it is Jay, and that it's the shadow of her claw. It could be V. It could even be N, I guess. Sure, N is a lovable goofball, but he is still a disassembly drone and is still very much capable of brutal mass murder.
So...
so it could also be him. Or it could even be a completely new disassembly drone that we haven't seen before. But if I had to take a guess, I'd say it's probably Jay. Now, even if the thing in the video isn't Jay, I still think that she's probably going to play a part in the episode, even if she's not the main antagonist, because why else would they bring her back? So that's about as juicy as the teasers get. The others don't really have as much to talk about as the video did, but I'm still going to talk about them regardless, so if that's all you came for, that's about it. But if you want to hear me ramble about the other teasers, then stick around. So on March 26th, 2 days after the video was uploaded and 4 days after the first post was made, another image was released showing a group of drones sitting around a campfire with the caption, "Wow, what a nice looking group of campers. I hope nothing bad happens to them," smiley face. And obviously further continuing the Friday the 13th vibes. Now, there isn't really much in this image. There's nothing I can see hiding in the background, and there isn't even really a background anyway. But there are a few things that people and I picked up on, like how the blue-eyed drone with the glasses is reading a book titled Final Girl Survival Guide, which is obviously a joke, but hey, it could also mean that this character will be the longest surviving member of the group. I still don't think that she'll make it to the end of the episode, though, because she's not a main character, so she's obviously gonna die. And also that this is the same model as the girl in the previous episode who gave V the prom queen crown and then gets brutally murdered a minute later. Also, people are saying that the cyan-haired girl is Rebecca, or excuse me,
Rebecca!
And that nothing better happened to her. Which, granted, I'm pretty sure Rebecca is a friend of Lizzie's, and if something doesn't go Lizzie's way, then she'll get her dad to
Dock your frickin' grades!
So it's probably for the best that Rebecca is left out of danger. Also, they're burning batteries. Not marshmallows. Batteries. 3 days after this, on March 29th, another teaser was released. This one is an image of a cabin with its windows boarded up and a red glow coming from inside. The door is also slightly ajar. It also looks like the cabin is coated in something. I don't know if that's supposed to be really big webs or if it's supposed to be like branches or some sort of plant life or something else. But I can only hope that it's not webs, because if it is, then those are some really thick looking webs, and I'd be terrified to know what unholy, monstrous abomination created them. Anyway, the caption for this image is, "At Camp 98.7, we only have the best lodges for our campers." And I'm sorry, but this does not look like the best lodge available. On top of looking like a slasher movie killer's holiday home and being coated in an unknown material, the place just looks super poorly maintained and run down. It's even got its windows boarded up. I wouldn't want a vacation here, you kidding me? What are you guys thinking? In all seriousness, all this image really does is establish a location. Perhaps this is the main cabin that the group of campers, or Uzi and N, or maybe all of them will stay in. But other than that, there really isn't much to it. I don't see anything in the background or hiding in the trees. It looks like there's supposed to be something in the doorway, but I can't tell what it is or if it's even supposed to be anything. So, I'm not sure. So 2 days later, on March 31st, another image was uploaded with the caption, "Don't go in the lake," even though the image is Uzi submerged up to her neck in the water, so she's going against the post's warning. She also looks shocked, or maybe even afraid of something, so this is probably hinting that the threat is in the water with her and she's aware of it, or maybe she just felt something brush against her leg, I don't know. I also took this to mean that the threat, or at least one of them, depending on if there's more than one, is either stuck in the water or it becomes more dangerous in the water, and that's why the lake needs to be avoided. Because if Uzi is submerged up to her neck, then I think it's safe to assume the drones are waterproof. So if the water itself can't hurt them, then that must mean that there's something in the water that can, and quite frankly, that is terrifying. Also, a comment on the post points out that Uzi's reflection kind of looks like it has an X for eyes. Now, that could just be the water, Or it could mean that Uzi is indeed becoming a disassembly drone, and the thing that has her so worried is seeing her own reflection. Another comment on the Twitter post says that it could be the solver symbol, or a solver-like symbol in the reflection, and Uzi is in the lake to avoid overheating. As I said before with the whole Uzi being a disassembly drone thing, I don't know. While there is a lot of stuff that points towards her becoming one, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And finally, yesterday another post was made with the caption, "This just came in the mail. Camp's going well, see?" with a photo of N and Uzi sitting by a campfire. Once again, the Friday the 13th vibes are strong. The photo also says, "Wish you were here," and I think this might be referring to Uzi's parents, whether Khan or Nori. I think more so towards Nori though, since she's dead, but it could also be referring to Khan since he's Uzi's father. Or I could be completely wrong. Maybe it's meaning the people who got the photo and the group wishes that they were there. Or maybe it's referring to us as the viewer. They wish that we were there to watch the episode. I don't know. Anyway, the oil splotch on the photo changes this completely. I think it could be that this photo was going to be sent off to someone, but then bad stuff went down and someone was hurt or killed. And so when it was finally sent off, it was already stained with the oil of that victim. Either that, or the photo was sent off as a complete lie and a fake to make whoever received it think that everything was alright, but the oil splotch proves that in actuality, something very bad happened and whoever took that photo was either injured or killed. Most likely the latter. It is murder drones after all. And yes, N is cute in that hat. And yes, Uzi's little bat backpack is also cute. And yes, they're also burning batteries. So, that's about it. I've talked about all the teaser images and the actual episode is right on the horizon, and I'm super excited for it. I do have some ideas that I think will happen. Like, I think that Jay is going to be making a return either as the main antagonist or some kind of side villain. And I also think that there's going to be something very unsettling going on with the lake. Not only because the post teasing it explicitly said to avoid the lake, but also just because the water is a perfect place for horror in general. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if during the episode, a drone decides to be stupid and go in the lake only to be pulled underwater and never seen again, with like their oil rising to the surface or something like that. Classic horror movie stuff like that. I'm sure we're probably going to see some of it. This whole episode just screams Friday the 13th after all. But I'm also really interested to see what they're going to do with this, like, weird disassembly drone, worker drone mix thing that's shown in the Cabin Fever video, or the messages in it like "Mother makes fuel from the bones," where they're going to go with that. I'm super hyped to see what's going to happen. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and woohoo, first Murder Drones video. I hope it didn't suck too bad. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.